points which I feel would be very helpful and insightful for you so that you can plan and design your systems. Please raise your hand. Okay. How many of you have taken commerce stream? Okay. And how many have taken science stream? Okay. How many of you know what you want to do after your class 12 or which career you want to pursue? How many of you are clear with that? Brilliant. Stream because your friend have decided it. Aisa hai kuch? Okay. We have fuel for that as well. Okay. Fine. So, what I'm going to do is help you understand. There are certain things now that as you go to class 11, and because of the new national education policy, there have been some changes in the way the admissions will happen in colleges. Okay. So I'm going to share with you some insights around it and how can you really work so that you can perform better in your, not only the board exams, but maybe any goal that you have set for yourself, how can we do it better? Okay. Can we go to the next slide, please? Next. Yeah. Next. Alright. Now, see, the subjects that you have done till class 10 have a very basic things in place. Like for example, you studied general science, general maths, social science. They were designed in a way to keep every child's aptitude in mind. Okay, that's how it was designed. But as you go to class 11 and 12, probably for the first time in the entire education journey that you have gone through, you would have been given choice as in what subjects you would like to choose, right? And there is two chances that either you would be encountering that subject for the first time in your life, or you have taken the same subject, but now the level of that subject would be elevated. Okay, what I mean to say this. Say for example, you've taken all of you. It was compulsory to take science, general science in class 10. The moment you go to science and you see the physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics, the level of maths will have an elevated level because now this is not designed keeping in mind everyone's aptitude, but it is designed in a way so that it gives a very strong foundation for the student in that particular subject. Got my point? So what happened? Either you will get a new subject or you will get a same subject but at an elevated level. Which means if you're getting a new subject, I think it's an amazing opportunity for you to give a fresh beginning to that. Don't study any subject keeping in mind, like just for the sake of getting good marks. Like I'm sure many of you have taken certain subjects keeping in mind that okay, this subject is very scoring. Okay? Or you might have seen many students who have scored very good in class 12, but they might not have understood the subject. They might have just followed few past papers and have understood what is important and have studied that. Right? I think when you study for marks, you actually are not, you don't get that very strong foundation. Now anything that you do in life, these subjects, whatever subjects you have taken in the stream you have taken, these are 2 foundation years. Now for a science student, let's say, any amazing innovation or technology or any sciences, new development in sciences happens, if you have a very strong foundation in 11 and 12, it gives you a base, it equips you with tools via which you can understand that new innovation that is happening, right? So this is a very foundational and the same is applicable for commerce and humanities. So don't take these 2 years just for the marks. Ensure that you actually understand things, not rote learn the things. Right? It will not help you if you have rote learn everything and even if you get 95%, right? And that will only happen when you focus on learning by understanding and not by learning by rote learning, right? So I strongly suggest you that when you start your class 11-12 journey, please don't try to rote learn anything. I mean, if possible, एक शपथ ही ले लो कि मुझे रट्टा नहीं मारना है. Because if you want to crack any entrance exams or if you want to build a strong career or if you're really enjoying the subject, the understanding part will help you more rather than rote learning. And what happens when you study a subject for understanding, you end up doing more amazing things, and that's a very, when sir was asking when was the good time you spent with yourself, right? I think just to add to the same line, you will also spend a great time with that subject when you focus on understanding and only by understanding. So make it a rule that you learn by understanding and only by understanding, it will help you. Another goal of higher education is that I think this is the last, probably it's a transition year for you, transition time, when from school you would be getting ready to go to college or university, right? Now in school, what happened? I'm sure when students studies in class 11 and 12, and probably many of you have already decided that you will need tuition, right? You will go for a tuition classes, you will go for, and your parents also would be very much involved in the entire process. But once you go to college, there is nothing like tuition, right? So these are the last 2 years probably where you will probably get a tuition, right? So please don't depend so much on any system, rather than focus on how can you become an independent learner. It's very important that you develop systems, you develop habits which help you to become independent learner. Thanks to technology, you have now access to everything. But focus in the last 2 years, can you become a strong independent learner? I think that will help you not only for your college or graduation, but in life in general. Okay. And the third and important point, what I feel, is find your spark. Right. I think this 2 years, especially class 11, spend more time in the field that you want to actually pursue your career. Spend some more time. Don't stop something that you feel that, okay, I want to do something and I don't want to pursue. Understand, try to figure out whether you are really interested in pursuing it or not. And how will that happen? That will only happen when you go and try and experience and educate yourself more and more about that field. Right? Say for example, I'm sure like many of you want to become, you have raised your hand, many of you have raised your hand when I ask, how many of you clear what you want to pursue? Right? Your task should also be that, okay, let's say I want to become an, let's say doctor, right? Or a lawyer. Your task should also be that, try to read more about that field. Try to know and if possible, interact with a person who is already a lawyer. And not one, maybe more than 1 or 2 or 3 to get a perspective in terms of what are the challenges, what are the positives, how is that field changing, right? It's very important that you go and interact with those people and try to understand. Thanks to internet, you will also find a lot of interviews and videos of people telling about that particular profession. It will give you an insight about that. If you don't know that, then also I would strongly suggest be open-minded and try to participate in any program or workshops. Say for example, we had today concert. So anyone who is interested in theatre or music or filmmaking, I mean, you have got a mentor, right? You can simply go and approach him and ask about it. If today, why not today? After the session, you can just go and talk to him. Sir, I am interested in help. Can you help me understand more about it? Getting my point? So you have to give some time to actually find where your spark is. Got my point? So don't take 11, 12 only as board exams. It will not help. And I strongly suggest try to build a strong foundation, try to become an independent learner, and most importantly, find a spark, because it will really, really help you to do all other things once you know what you want to do. Okay? If your clarity brings motivation, if you're clear what you want to do, you will be more motivated to even pursue it. Got it? Alright, next. Now, what has happened, I just wanted to highlight, what has happened, until a year back, if you wanted to study in any college, any central universities or any top colleges in other stream also, let's say commerce or humanities, you had to, only the board marks was the criteria, right? But because of the now new education policy, there's an exam called Central University Entrance Test, which many other private universities as well as state universities are going to adopt it, because of the mandate in the new education policy of having a common exam for testing whether a student would be fit for that particular university or not, which means whether you're from science or commerce or humanities, you have to give aptitude test. You have to prepare for those exams also. Now, this is where actually I think you have to be really very careful and be very mindful about it, that you have to prepare for a boards exam, and along with it you also have to give and appear for an aptitude test. Now, which is one aptitude test is Central University Entrance Test, but I'm sure there are commerce students or humanities students who also wanted to go say someone want to do a Bachelor of Science in TIS, that's Tata Institute of Social Science. They have a separate entrance exam. Basically, what I'm trying to say, if you want to go to a good college or universities, you have a criteria that either they will look for your board exams, or they would conduct an entrance exam, or they would take an aptitude test to understand whether you fit in for that particular exam or not. Getting my point? So it's very important that from very early, and that's why I thought I should tell you from day one only, because I have seen many students who after giving 12th exam, just before a week or a month, they come to me or many of the other people who are into this field, and they ask us, help us how to prepare for this exam. I think that's not preparing, that's more of a repairing that we will do at that time, right? If you really want to prepare, I think now is the right time, and I strongly suggest make your class 11 more fruitful and meaningful, because there's another thing that I have been observing since years. 11 में तो boards नहीं है ना, क्या load लेना है हमको? I think this will not help you. It's not board exams, I understand, but still, if you can prepare and understand that if you want to go to a good college or a good university, you have to have a good marks in boards. At the same time, are oriented in which exams do you want to prepare.